Representative Tanner, making some headlines here that Fauci's pardon may not be valid in Idaho, huh?
Well, it is not valid in Idaho, and it is a federal pardon, not for federal crimes potentially committed, which is interesting because he has not been charged with any crimes yet. For somehow the trust the science movement, Biden does not have a lot of trust in that, and went ahead and did a preemptive pardon, but that alone does not elude or discount him from any state crimes he had committed. And he committed, in my opinion, quite a few of them.
Yeah. Now, you said something very interesting in answer to a question during the print hearing, which was that it's actually up to the counties to maybe pursue charges or investigations of some sort. Can you expand on that a little bit? Because I mean, this is a show about action. We want people to get motivated to go out and do something wherever they feel motivated to do something. And I think this is a big motivating thing here if we can go after Fauci. But what is it about the counties that caused you to bring that up?
Well, it's just a question of our current laws and how it actually works in a sense of who can go after criminal actions. Now, other states have their attorney general have the ability to go after criminal cases like this. But for some reason, Idaho has not granted that. We see a lot of it come out of California. Their attorney general continually goes after people on the criminal action side. But based on our current state law, it would take legislative action for us to have the attorney general to go after it. But counties can actually go after criminal action based on current state law.
And so are you talking about like the commissioners, the county prosecutor? I mean, where do you do and do you need to find a victim? I mean, is that the thing? Like you have to find a victim in the county?
That is 100% correct. Once you have the victim, the county prosecutors have the ability to go after that.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. The legislature can decide to have the attorney general look at this as well. But again, you need people to come forward with crimes that were committed against them. That are violating their own constitutional rights that we can actually go fight.
Yeah. I guess one of those things is when he came out and said, or directed the CDC to say that you shouldn't use ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine and the hospitals were directed to not do those types of things. And you feel you were directly affected by that. That might be something that should be looked into, right?
I would think so. I mean, they definitely went out and suppressed, and we're still being suppressed in a sense of a lot of those drugs that were showing high rates of success with lessening the virus, as well as, I mean, in my opinion, it could have kept people out of the hospitals. It could have saved lives. And yet it wasn't fitting their narrative, which their narrative was the big pharma aspect. And it was selling a vaccine that didn't actually work.
Right. Brian, any thoughts on this from you on this resolution? I love it.
I have a question, Representative Tanner. If things that Dr. Fauci said or did that then trickled down and local health districts or municipalities took actions that could then harm people or restrict their rights, is there a path back up there for Idahoans to get some justice there?
I think, in my opinion, there's a path straight to him. I don't think you have to go through some of the lower entities that followed what his orders were, because in the end, it wasn't necessarily them going out and making their own calls, their own decisions. Now, there were some, like the Boise mayor, that went ahead and that shut down businesses, and we saw other cities that didn't follow that. But again, this was his doing. This was what he pushed down upon our state and all the other states. In my opinion, it was just flat out lies what he was doing because he was trying to control his own narrative. I think, in my opinion, it kind of got away from him, and I think he's trying to do damage control, whether it was him going and trying to delete emails when they tried getting access to those, which they were able to get to some of them, showing the gain of function aspect. But he lied to the public, he hid things from the public, and he pushed a narrative that did not benefit the state of Idaho or the rest of the country, in my opinion.
Do you know if there are any county prosecutors who are prepared to bring any charges or indictments, or at least start any investigations?
I haven't seen that. I mean, I would assume most of them were hoping that this action would have been taken at the federal level with the new president as he came in and his new administration, but which I'm assuming is why former President Biden went ahead and preemptively issued that pardon. But I think that's what I want to make sure that not just Idaho, but other states are aware. If there were crimes committed within your state, and there were, that we as a state have the ability to actually go after them. His pardon does not elude himself from state crimes.
Yeah, and final question, Representative Tanner. Have you talked to other states, other representatives or folks in other states? Are we the first here? Are you the first to bring this sort of a resolution to the floor or to this?
I've definitely been the first so far. I'm hopefully multiple states take on the cause and run similar resolutions, pushing for some type of action. I mean, besides what he did to our population, I mean, he destroyed us economically. He completely disrupted, society in general. He cost kids their education. We set education back years based on the decisions that he made, and not just on the K-12 level, but also on the post-education level, just on how much he disrupted that. We're still seeing businesses trying to deal with what he pushed out, and I think a lot of them tried to follow the right thing. They were being told that this was the right thing to do, so they sent a lot of people to work from home. And now it's been very, very difficult to get people to come back into the office. I mean, it's disrupted not just the United States, but the world based on decisions that this man made.
All right. Well, I know you got a lot of work going on there. This is just one element of it. So we'll have to have you back and talk about more of the other stuff you're working on. But I really appreciate this on behalf of all of us who are watching this madness go on at the national level. This is definitely something that I think is important to at least send a signal out there. So we applaud you for that, Representative.
Well, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Brian. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.